What's up, guys? Sam Taggart here, and I'm with D2D Experts, where I've trained over 60,000 sales reps in door-to-door. And whether you're brand new starting or you've been in it for 5 years, this video is going to help you find some of the tips and tricks that I've found after interviewing over 300 of the best in this industry. So if you haven't yet, go subscribe to the D2D Podcast, where over the last 8 years, every single week, I haven't missed a week, I have done an episode. And we've taken the top 1%, we've taken business owners, we've taken managers, and we've said, okay, if we could compile why are they worthy, first off, to be interviewed on the podcast, and we were to streamline and we were to say, okay, let's take all that knowledge and put it into like this video. That's what I want to give you. And what's crazy in door-to-door is it's a hard job. And so I want to give you a little bit of my story. I started when I was 11. I then was painting curbs all through high school, so 13 to 18. Then when I was 18, I started an alarm. So this is back in 2008. And door-to-door has not changed much. Most people think, they're like, oh, today's so different. I'm like, no, people are people. And whether I was selling in 1905 or I'm selling in 2005 or I'm selling in 2025, people are people. And they either buy from people they like, know, trust. They want to see value. They don't like to spend money. They are liars. The reality is people are people, and psychology is psychology. And somebody that tells you like, oh my gosh, the new secret sauce of selling, I'm like, it's probably just repurposed, repackaged from the old OGs like Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy and even people before them like Og Mandino and such. So what I found in success in door-to-door, it comes down to really 3 simple things. And when I managed big teams, I had over 100 sales reps. I would never fire somebody that was 1, willing to work the hours, 2, have a positive attitude, and 3, willing to train. And when you break this down, it's so simple. Working the hours, there's no substitute. So many people think, even when they've been doing it for 5, 6 years, what happens is their talent goes up and then their hours go down. And that's why they hit these plateaus. It's because in less amount of time, they can get more sales. And so I'm like, well, what if you just, now that you're good, put the same amount of time that you did when you were in your first 6 months, but now that you have the training and skill set, what would happen to your income? But many people let their income actually hurt them because they look at their bank account, they're making enough money to survive, and then they stop selling. And hence why you see all these people make a ton of money, lose a ton of money, make a ton of money, lose, and you see inconsistency in sales. And so when I say work the hours, I say regardless of how many sales you have, whether you've sold 0 this week or you sold 50 this week, here are my hours that I work, and that is my schedule. And I might be in a rough neighborhood. I might be, it might be raining. It might be whatever. But the guys that are really successful, they never negotiate on their time. A lot of them, if you actually really study them, they work more hours because they're able to tee up their latest appointment at, let's say, 9 o'clock. Hey, is it cool if I make you my last stop at 9 p.m.? So now they're in a home from 9 to 10, and then they try to tee up their early appointments. So they're like, hey, can I come by at like 9 tomorrow in the morning? Oh, sure. Where they weren't even going to be out knocking until maybe 1 or 2. Now they've got a 9, a 10 o'clock appointment, and they're already out in turf. And so they've actually figured out ways to extend the work hours, not compress the work hours. Number 2, have a positive attitude. What ends up happening a lot of times is there's this element of like our past performance equals our future performance. And I hope as you're watching this video, I'm like, it's not always the case. And what's crazy is some of these people on our stage at Door-to-Door Con, the Golden Door Award winners, after interviewing a lot of them, it wasn't like their first year they made a golden door. It wasn't their second. It wasn't their fourth. A lot of these guys, it took them 5 years to finally hit top 1%. And I said, well, tell me about your first year. And they're like, oh, I sucked. Tell me about your first month. Oh, I was okay, but definitely not that great. And the story seems to be pretty consistent. After about a year, maybe 2, it finally clicked, but they had an attitude of, I'm not going to freaking quit. I'm going to figure this out. And what I found a lot of times with sales professionals is they took it as a profession. And if you study all the, let's say, NBA players, I'm a big basketball fan, you look at like Michael Jordan, he was cut. He was playing high school basketball, he was cut. Look at like Tom Brady, he was like far down the draft pick. You look at like the guys that are really, really, really good, is they were committed to the game, but not always the best out the gate. But they had just a more tenacity, commitment to consistency. And they said, I'm not giving up, I'm not a quitter. If you're already having that mentality of like, well, I don't know how long I could do this, I'll probably do this one more summer, right there, your attitude's shot. Is just say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to commit to being the best at it. And I'm going to do it as long as I can. And all of a sudden, your energy goes towards being good at this. And the last one is the training. So obviously at D2D Experts, I'm biased because we've trained thousands of sales professionals. And I've watched guys, what makes them successful, what makes them not. I've seen people even buy our training and not be successful. And guys that, just take little bites and find success. And so the first thing though is, am I having daddy pay for college or am I paying for college? And what I mean by this is, so many people are like, well, my manager, my owner, they should cover all my culture, my training, my support, my success. And I'm like, so is your daddy going to get you the job when you're 30 and you're sitting there having to provide for your kids? Is he going to bail you out? Like, life doesn't work that way. And I think too many people are so codependent on the company paying for the training and the company doing the culture and company doing this instead of the individual saying, I need to reach out to the greatest resources I can and invest in myself. And what that's doing is it's telling yourself that you're worthy and that you're willing to bet on yourself. And for me, I don't need your money. Like, I'm not trying to sell you right now. You need your money and you need to be making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars doing this. And if you're not, there's probably some opportunity there. And the people we like to work with are the ones that want to make multiple 6 figures and 7 figures. Those are the guys that tend to, here, take my money. Like, I know that the success principle is I have mentors, I have training, I invest in myself because I've seen the results. But it's hard for that guy that's broke and struggling and hasn't been able to make payments to his rent payment or whatever to be like, let me take some extra cash that I don't have and put it towards myself. It's hard for them to ever see that. So the money has everything to do with just how hard are you committing to this? And then number 2 is how often are you training? And training is not, you think of like fitness. Let's go back to basketball. They're shooting free throws and shooting drills. There's defense drills. There's weightlifting. There's scrimmage. All of those things are very different types of training. So role playing, watching videos, watching game film, recording yourself and giving criticism, having other people criticize it. All those things factor into like, am I training? And a clear indicator of if you're training well is you see progress. I think a lot of people, they go to the gym, but they've been the same weight or they're still fat. I'm like, you're not seeing progress. So you're just by existing and going to gym doesn't make you actually fit. You have to be seeing results and you have to measure those results. And how you measure that is you say doors knocked, time on doors, conversions, conversation, talk time, how many times you're getting in the home versus not. All of those things can track into how well are you training. And if you're somebody that's not paying attention to the stats, again, indicator you probably aren't taking this serious. Because if you look at Steph Curry or ESPN or any of this, they know every little statistic of what they're doing. That's hence why they're professionals. So most likely you're not making the money you want to make because you haven't started treating it like a profession and you're probably just treating it like a W-2 job. And so I bet you if you went back and said, I want to manage a Starbucks, you'd probably make more money. I bet you if you just went back to school or something and tried to become a lawyer, you'd probably make more money. But if you're like, dude, I want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars really quick, write my own ticket, eat what I kill, and not have anybody dictate my income, maybe you should start taking this like a profession and do what professionals do. And that's what makes people successful in door-to-door. So if you're somebody who wants to take yourself to the next level, we have this thing called the League. It's our mastermind. It's events and online training and one-on-one coaching and all sorts of different things. So click the link and schedule a call with one of our guys. And we'd love to tell you how we can help you become a professional. And then if you're not, like, keep watching YouTube videos. And I think that's how a lot of people get successful is they just sit there and they watch YouTube videos and they hope the money flows in. I would not put my money on that, but that's totally up to you. So hope you got some value out of this and here to help you become successful. And again, I don't need anything from you. I just am here to help.